Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about some of the books that I have acquired recently. If I look over at my stack here, it is fairly big. So we've got a few to get through today, but I hope you enjoy. So let's get started. The first book that I got, which I think I got sometime in the middle of October, is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I got the Barnes and Noble's special edition, and like at first I was a little disappointed because I thought it was a hardcover, but it's not. It's paperback. But I mean, if you can look a little closely, it looks like a journal, from the olden days or whatever. And I think it's because how it's written is like a journal entry anyway. So yeah, I've actually come to really love this cover, and I'm so excited. I have this because I've heard nothing but great things about this book. So a little bit about the synopsis. So Emily Wilde, she is an academic and she studies the Fae. But she's not very good at people. So she goes to this town where I think is heavily close with the Fae. And so she goes there to study the Fae. But to be able to understand the Fae, you have to get the cooperation of the townspeople, and she's not very good at that. So then arrives one of her rivals, I guess you could say, in academia. He's supposedly handsome and charming, and he is a talker. So like he's very good with the people, charms them and everything. And so Emily is not thrilled that he's there, but then starts to wonder why he's there. So that's what this is all about, and I am super excited to hopefully pick this up soon. So the next book that I picked up is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. It is the Hades and Persephone little series, which if I like this, I'm gonna probably want to pick up her entire world. But I saw this on the shelf one day when I was at the store, and I loved the cover, which made me pick it up and read the back. And then it's like, I like, mythology stories about the gods, and this is more of a urban reimagining, I would say. So I mean, why not? And I think it's a spicy romance too. So, but yeah, I guess basically Persephone, she makes a deal with Hades. And through that deal, she's got to, I think, discover a little bit of herself, figure some stuff out. But it's to regain her freedom. So to do that though, she has got to, I think, do some things that she doesn't want to really do to survive or something. But then she also starts to grow some feelings for Hades. So that's what this series is about. So I couldn't just pick up the first one. So the store had the first and the third, which drives me nuts. If you had the first and the third, have the second one. So I had to buy the second one off of Amazon. So it came in. And so then the second one is A Touch of Ruin. And the third one is A Touch of Malice. And I love how all three of these covers look. Like, they're gorgeous. So I have all three, depending on how good they are. Probably gonna marathon them. But I am super excited to get into this. So the next series that I bought, which I bought this one a little while ago. I didn't put it in any of my other hauls just because I bought it way too long ago, but I think it makes sense to show you now because I picked up the second one and I picked it up just because the hardcover, gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. So the book is Belladonna, and this one came out earlier this year, I think, or late last year. Great reviews on it. Everybody loves it. It's like a dark, gothic kind of story. And I don't really know a whole lot about this, and I kind of don't. I want to just go into it and see what it's all about. But, I mean, in the front, it says, "Death awaits for no one except her." Like, right there. Just let me read it. So I bought Belladonna, and then the second one, Foxglove, which the cover itself is gorgeous, but let me show you what is underneath the cover. I mean, look at this. Like, I want to buy the hardcover of this one just to see if it looks the same as this. But I'm excited to get into this world for sure. The next books is also a series. As you can tell, there's a theme. Plus, I like to buy the second, third, whatever, even if I don't know if I like it or not. But that's just me. But the book is Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. So, I mean, so far, what I've read of Evie Schwab is her Threads of Power series, or Darker Shades of Magic. Threads of Power is the new one. And I really like that. So I need to read some more of her works. And so probably the next one I'm going to do is Vicious and Vengeful. This is a story about two friends that become enemies. It's kind of like a superhero, supervillain, like, battle. So they both get supernatural abilities. It's kind of like Superman and Batman fighting, even though Batman doesn't have superpowers, but pretend that he does, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I've just heard great things about this in general, and I am super excited to pick this up. So you probably would have guessed, if you've watched some of my previous videos, that I loved Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I got Iron Flame. I want to pick this up so bad, but I'm not. I'm going to try to finish some more of my TBR that I want and kind of get on track and probably pick this up first quarter of 2024, partly because I don't want to read it too quickly and not know when the third one's coming out. I think the third one will come out sometime in 2024, but I don't want to have to wait. So, but if you don't know, the first one is about Violet. She is kind of sickly. She's got a little bit of a disease, but she was always trained to become a scribe when she became of age. Well, that was her father's dream, but her father passed away. And so now her mother, who is the commandant of this war college, has said, well, you're my daughter and you will be a dragon rider, just like her sister and her brother was before her. So Violet has to try to stay alive. She's got to learn to outsmart her adversaries. She's got to learn to fight. And, I mean, she's got to get a dragon. Because if she doesn't get a dragon, even if she gets a dragon, she could die. But having a dragon would help. Well, then there is Xaden. And he is the son of a traitor. Well, where all of the traitors in this previous war were executed, their sons and daughters were made to go to the war college when they became of age. So that way, in the regime's eyes, they thought these kids would die. A lot of them have actually become dragon riders and gotten through the school and been better than a lot of the people who have been in the dragon rider part of the war college. Well, Xaden does not like Violet's mom. And so Xaden wants to kill Violet to get to her mom because of what she did to her dad and his mom and all that other kind of stuff. But lo and behold, it's a fantasy romance, so you take that as it is. But yeah, super excited to read this. I like the first edition that I got of Fourth Wing because it had like the dragons on the spot on the end cap here. This is just black, which I love, but I kind of wish that the sprayed edges had a little bit of a design on it. But still, love this. Can't wait to be back in the world. The next few books that we're going to talk about are the 3 books that I picked from Book of the Month. And I will have a referral link below if you'd like to sign up. Book of the Month is great. This is not sponsored by them, by the way. I really love their service, and they have gotten a lot better even since I started. They're offering more picks during the month than like just 5. Now they're going up to 6 or 7. And so you have a better chance of wanting to pick a book for your box. You can also now add up to 4 more books in your box if you would like, for a little bit of an extra cost, but they're still like, I think $9.99 per extra book for a hardcover. But they also have audiobooks. I have not tried that yet. I'm not big into audio. I will listen to some audiobooks once in a while. More or less, I like to do that on nonfiction or more like historical fiction. But they're a great service. And I absolutely love Book of the Month. But anyway, the first one that I picked up was Helsinki Affair. When I read the synopsis of this one, I immediately thought spy movie. And that's, to be quite fair, all I'm going to give you. James Bond, blackmail, adventure, backstabbing, action. Like, this is what that is going to be, and I am super excited. I love watching spy movies. I've never read one, so really want to try it out. This seems like the first good one that I want to pick up, so very excited. The next book I picked up was What the River Knows. This is a YA fantasy, and basically it is about Egyptian mythology and magic. And so I am super excited to pick this up. That's really all I know about it. I read the synopsis when I was trying to pick out my books. I don't remember what it says other than it's Egyptian and there's magic. But I don't really want to reread it, so I'm not gonna read it for you guys because I don't want to know. But if you like Egyptian history, mythology, and of course magic, pick this one up. But of course I'll let you know how I like it too. The last book I got from Book of the Month, it was The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. So this one gives me Gilmore Girl vibes because it takes place in a small town. I mean, Gilmore Girls, like, it doesn't have that fall vibe, but I feel like this does because of witching, like witches, and magic. The Gilmore Girls just had that atmosphere. So I am super stoked to pick this up. It'll be nice, like a breather from all of my high fantasy and dark fantasy that I read, just to pick up something cozy and magical. So very excited about this one. Then I got Brandon Sanderson's final secret project, The Sunlet Man, and I just love this cover. It is great. Now, I probably will not be picking this up for a while because from what I have been hearing, this is heavily like in the Cosmere. So to understand it, you have to have read most, if not all, of the Cosmere that is currently out. Like one of the girls that I watch, she has read all of the Cosmere books, and she said she still did not understand some of the lines that were brought up because they, from her opinion, they are portraying possible teasers for more books that Brandon is going to have in his Cosmere. So, this one will probably be on my shelf unread for a while because I still have all of his books to get through except for Mistborn Era 1. That's the only one in the Cosmere that I've currently read, other than Tress. But that one only has small takes of the Cosmere, which I think as long as you read Mistborn, you'd understand. So I did. And I'm gonna read Yumi and the Midnight and the Painter and the Midnight Painter, Nightmare Painter. That one takes place in the Cosmere too, but nothing like this. So yeah, but I had to show you this just because the cover is gorgeous. Next thing I got was from my Broken Binding subscription. Promise of Blood by Brian McKellen. So it looks like old war-timey. Basically on the back it says, "The Age of Kings is dead and I have killed it." That's all I know about this series. Because this came in my subscription box, so I'll be getting the second and the third one here soon. But I like old-time war stuff. And I'm sure there's magic in it because Broken Binding, they're mainly like fantasy stuff, you know, so. But there's the end page. I mean, it's gonna be good. I have a feeling. I'll show you the hardcover too. There's the hardcover. So, very excited. I love that I have a subscription to I about ripped it. That would have been bad. I love that I have a subscription to Broken Binding because I get such of the most beautiful books. Like, if you haven't checked them out, please check them out. The last book, and one I am very excited about, is Cassandra Clare's new book, her first book for an adult series, Sword Catcher. This one is a chunker, but I mean, I love Cassandra Clare, so I'm sure this is gonna be great. It is a chunker, so it'll take me a little while. But basically, you've got two characters. You've got one who is considered the sword catcher for the prince. He looks like the prince. So they got him at a young age, like found him, I think he's an orphan, and they have trained him to be basically the prince so he can stand in for him at certain things. So that way, if there's an assassination attempt or whatever, the prince is safe, but then he sacrifices himself for the prince. So then you have another character who her people are the only ones left with magic. So you got people without magic, you got people with magic, and the people that don't have magic kind of don't like the people with magic. Then there's like a scheme, and so these two characters come together with some like circumstances or whatever, and they have to basically figure out how to get through this. That, I know it's vague, but I've read the synopsis several times and I don't know why I can't remember what it is. I think there's also supposed to be a little bit of a romance. So I'm excited about that because Cassandra Clare she rips your heart out. Like, absolutely rips your heart out with these characters. She is such a great character building author. Like, these people are real. So I am very excited to read this. I want to get to it before the end of the year, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen because I've got so much on my backlog. And the problem is I just keep buying books, as you can see. So, well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Like and subscribe if you would want. And don't forget, be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you